What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lunch Table Sports Podcast. Today we got the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL draft class, kind of going over their pros, their cons, pro comps for them, and what we think about based off their film. So my QB1 in the draft is Bryce Young. So you can see the stats, the height, weight right there, 5'10", 205. The height might worry some. It really shouldn't at all. He's got excellent touch on the football, great accuracy. He's never really flustered when he's playing. He's always in complete control as a quarterback, which I think is very important. He never really lets his emotions really get to him. Um, I think a big example of that is that Alabama-Tennessee game from last year, which was a huge game in college football. They were down a big amount at halftime. He willed his team back all the way to the point where they tied the game. Eventually, Tennessee kicked the game winner. That's just a perfect example of the kind of quarterback he is. He's never going to get down on himself. Elite accuracy and ball placement. Pro style off to Alabama. Saban gets those guys ready for the NFL. He's a proven winner, Heisman winner. Some of his worries is his durability. That could be an issue. And for his size and weight, he's not an amazing scrambler. My comp for him is Russell Wilson, not current Russell Wilson, but for prime Russell Wilson. Just how he maneuvers the pocket and he throws the ball. And then I put shades of Drew Brees, just for his demeanor and just sense of urgency to win. But Bryce Young's got to be my QB1 in this draft.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think Bryce Young is the most you can make an argument for him and CJ Stroud, but he's one of the most QB ready or NFL ready quarterbacks in this draft. I'm sure you said he doesn't let the moment get to him. He extends plays. He kind of has that full package. He's got a great arm, great accuracy. We see his stats in college. It's just tore it up. People kind of knock his size, but I think the 205 weight kind of shows you what you need to hear. And yeah, I think NFL scouts should be really excited to get a chance to draft this guy.
Yeah, so bold take here. My QB2 in the draft is Anthony Richardson. So Anthony Richardson is probably the most polarizing prospect in this whole entire class. He's got the highest ceiling in the entire NFL draft. He's got the strongest arm in the draft, and he's the best scrambler in the draft. He's an athlete, total athlete, in a 4.40 or 40-inch vertical. And just watching his tape, he can make any play, anytime, anywhere on the field. It just depends on his mentality going in, what team drafts him, how are you going to develop him? Because he's not going to play. He's not an immediate starter right away in the league. He needs, at the bare minimum, at least 1 year to sit behind an experienced veteran. That's why I think the Lions are a perfect fit for a guy like Anthony Richardson. You're not going to be in a position to pay Goff over $50 million a year. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But that's the way the quarterback market's going. I think if you draft a guy like Richardson, let him sit behind Goff for a year and make him your full-time starter, that's his perfect scenario. But his touchdown interception ratio in the last 6 games is 12-2. He showed a lot of improvement. His cons are he's extremely inconsistent. Really his stats aren't completely there for a guy his how athletic he is and how good traits he has. He kind of has poor accuracy, the short to midfield windows. You would like to see a little more accuracy there on some easy passes. And then he kind of has a lack of anticipation when moving around the pocket. He doesn't really feel pressure all that great. When he's scrambling, it's mostly him kind of not willing to stay in the pocket and extending plays elsewhere, which is definitely a pro to us, right? But I see him a lot as Josh Allen, Cam Newton type guy, where Josh Allen was extremely raw coming out of Wyoming, had these same difficulties, kind of struggled his first 2 years in the NFL, but eventually we see what he is now, top 5 quarterback. I mean, if Anthony Richardson is a home run pick, if he ends up panning out, he's a guy who's going to be ceilings all the way up here, but his floor, if he's a bust, he's going to be really bad. But if everything pans out, he's my QB2.
Yeah, I like this hot take. I think I can see this playing out in the future. I think Anthony Richardson, just like you said, he oozes like a talent and ability and just athleticism. And I think if you're a team like the Lions and you have a guy who's established like Jared Goff and you can let Anthony Richardson kind of sit behind him for a few years, learn the ropes, I think this is the perfect scenario. Not just the Lions too. There's a lot of teams I think I could see him doing well on. Just it has to be the right fit, and he has to be taken. The team has to take their time. They can't rush him into a situation where he's gonna fail and it's not gonna pan out. He's gotta take his time and develop. And really hone all of his issues. But if you do that, and I think this the ceiling is sky high for him.
For sure. My QB3 is CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is probably might be the safest pick in the entire draft. I think he's going to be a good quarterback no matter where he goes. He's the most accurate passer in the draft, smooth passer, ideal quarterback height, weight, stats all line up. Best career game is against the best team he's played, which is very encouraging to see. Never really backed down against competition. I know as a Michigan fan, it was nice to see him lose to Michigan, but those losses were not his fault. He played outstanding in those games. Some of his cons are, Ohio State is a very first to second read system, which is why quarterbacks like Justin Fields, hasn't seen the level of success yet throwing the ball, which we would hoped. And unfortunately, it's tragic what happened to Dwayne Haskins, but that's kind of the reason he didn't pan out too well. So that's kind of a question mark there for Ohio State quarterbacks. And he never really used his scrambling ability to last game against Georgia, which he showed it to be very good. My pro comp for him is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I know he gets the hate, but at the end of the day, he's a pretty good NFL quarterback. Normally gets the job done. So I think C.J. Stroud will be kind of like that very good quarterback. I don't know if he'll ever be that elite quarterback, but you can rely on him to make the playoffs, make success in the NFL. And I just overall think he's a day one starter ready to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's the safest pick in this draft, and just like with all the rest of these guys, you got to put him in the right situation. And if I think if he goes to the right situation, he's going to really thrive, and they're going to get the most out of his talent and his ability that he has already, and his accuracy and all the other things you talked about. So I think CJ Stroud is. You can make a case for him being first or second, but I like him here at 3.
Yeah, my QB4 here is Will Levis. Will Levis, I am not totally on board the Will Levis hype train. I definitely have him here just for upside as my QB4. He's got great height and weight, 6'4", 230. He's coming from a pro-style offense in Kentucky. He's gonna start to click in the NFL, maybe sooner than guys like Stroud and Richardson, at least mentally. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's got an insane arm. He's extremely athletic. Just finding those windows. Just watching film, it's kind of a roller coaster ride of a film because there's some times where he's looking great, fitting the ball right through some of the windows, and then there's throws where he's throwing an interception to a guy. It was just a terrible interception. I've never really found his rhythm at Kentucky. He kind of forces throws a little bit, falls into his throws. I think good pro comp for him is Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was a starting quarterback in the NFL. Threw for a ton of yards, ton of picks, ton of touchdowns. And then he had his fair share of picks. He's just kind of that quarterback who, I don't know, just likes to have fun out there, never takes it too seriously. And I don't know if Will Levis really took it seriously enough at Kentucky. I do think if things check out, he could be better than Jay Cutler, but I don't have the confidence to put him above that right now. But that's just my analysis on Will Levis.
Yeah, I agree with that analysis. I think he has a good frame and he has good potential, but I think he's a little bit older than some of these guys, and I like your fit from here at 4. I think Jay Cutler pro comp is pretty good too. Just he can for sure be a starting NFL quarterback. I just don't see him being that franchise guy that kind of is a top 10 quarterback in the league, or a crazy prospect. I agree with everything you said, and I think he'll be a good NFL quarterback, just not great.
I agree. QB5 I got here is Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. I really like Hendon Hooker, and it's a shame he tore his ACL because he could go top 15 pick if he doesn't tear his ACL. He's a very old rookie. He'll be 25 years old as a rookie. He's one of those redshirt COVID year guys. But he played outstanding at Tennessee and was very much in the Heisman race until he got hurt. Threw for 300. You see the stats right there. Only two picks. In this year at Tennessee. Great height, weight, awesome at managing the game, great pocket presence and awareness, extremely accurate when given the time in the pocket, which he had a great O-line there at Tennessee. Arm strength has never been an issue for him. He's always delivering the ball, perfect and accurate, coming off a torn ACL, so that might waiver some teams. When having to throw on the run or in distress, accuracy kind of wavers. I think Hendon Hooker could be a very solid quarterback in the NFL. That's why I was pro comp as Geno Smith from this year. Geno Smith career revival in Seattle. Absolutely just a guy you want to root for. Hendon Hooker, I see the same traits, extremely accurate. Just great at managing the game, won't turn the ball over, won't lose you the game. But overall, I think he could be a sleeper to watch out for, to sneak into the first round potentially. So at quarterback 6, I got Tanner McKee from University of Stanford. McKee threw for 2,947 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 picks, 6'6", 231. Pro confirm is Nick Foles. I'm actually a lot higher on Tanner McKee than a lot of people are. I think he's got the perfect height weight build you want as an NFL starter. I think he could be a solid starter in the NFL. Obviously, he has to go to the right team. He's really raw. He's a really raw prospect, but everything's there you want out of a quarterback. He's got a big arm. He's got great accuracy. I just think he's a guy a lot of teams are sleeping on. Stanford wasn't that great, and he honestly didn't have that great of a year. But all intangibles are there. I really do think he could make something out of nothing. Tanner McKee. My QB7 is Jake Haener. I really like how he played at the Senior Bowl. I thought that was a really good showing for him. Stats all line up as you can see here. Pro comp for him is Brock Purdy. I think he's going to be that surprise kind of player. He kind of does everything right as a quarterback. Doesn't make any dumb errors, just hits the open guy. I really like him coming out of this draft. QB8 is Adyn O'Connell. As you can see here, height, stats, all kind of check out. He was really good against Michigan in the Big Ten Championship game. I thought that was one of his better showings this year. He did have those 2 picks, but other than that, he played really good, kept Purdue in it for the majority of the game. I have pro comp as Chad Henne, but that's more of a career standpoint. I think he'd be a career backup in the NFL, makes a lot of good money, starting games, filling in. So that's why I got Adyn O'Connell QB8. QB9 for me is Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett is definitely one of the more slept on quarterbacks in this class. He did everything right for Georgia. Led that team to multiple national championships. Seneca Wallace is a really good comp for him. Great. Seneca Wallace was great in college. Career backup, but when he started, he could. I think Stetson Bennett can kind of do the same thing. I think I'll have a long career in the NFL. And then finally, on QB10, I got Clayton Tune. Another guy a lot of people could be sleeping on, but I got him he's thrown for 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 10 picks, 6'2", 220, pro comp Chase Daniel. Another guy, good Senior Bowl, I thought. Stats line out, film lines out. And that is my top 10 quarterbacks. I made another mock draft that should be coming out soon, and it was all of my top 10 receiver rankings. We were going to try to get back to the grind here. We got a lot of finals coming up, so trying to plug away through those. And then after that, it's pure NFL